Melo's time over in the Big Apple. What's going on, y'all? Faiz Sports Talk back at it with another video talking some NBA. Here to talk Carmelo Anthony, whose name has been all over NBA trade rumors, and it looks like with each passing day, Melo's time in New York is limited, and rumors have now obviously surfaced that Phil Jackson is really trying to trade Carmelo Anthony, and he is going forward with the rebuilding process, which he should have done a while back, but that's another topic for another day. And he wants to build around Kristaps Porzingis and wants to officially move on from Carmelo Anthony. The problem here is Carmelo, of course, has that waive no trade clause in his contract. So for him to be able to get traded, he needs to approve the team that he's going to get traded to, which automatically limits the number of teams interested in trading for Carmelo. But with that being said, there are still a number of suitors for Carmelo Anthony. Even though he is in the twilight sort of his career on the back end, he can still, score with the best of them. So I'm here to give you guys three of what I think are the best teams and the best trade destinations for Carmelo Anthony. So let's get started. At number 3, I have the Portland Trail Blazers. And look, the Blazers weren't in this spot before I heard the news about Carmelo potentially getting traded to the Cavs for Kevin Love, and then his rumor within the Boston Celtics. And both those teams said, no thank you, we aren't interested, which meant that I had to remove them from the list because those would have been good trade teams for Carmelo Anthony. Obviously, again, this is not just about fit. This is about where Carmelo is going to want to go, because obviously in Cleveland, you would have sort of this logjam with the ball dominating people with Carmelo, Kyrie, and LeBron. So I don't know about fit there, but obviously we all know that Carmelo and LeBron are really good friends. So there would have been that connection. But with that being said, those two teams are out of the picture. That is why I have the Portland Trail Blazers here. A long shot, but they definitely need a small forward. They definitely need some scoring from that position. Right now, the team is way too dependent on their backcourt scoring of Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum, and Carmelo would definitely provide another scoring punch that they badly need because their front court is awfully weak, and the reason why they've been a disappointment this year. So Melo to the Blazers would actually be a better fit than most people think. The only problem here, again, is I don't think Melo would want to go to the Portland Trail Blazers, even though they are a team on the rise. They are a relatively young team. I don't know how much his interest level is in the Blazers, but if he did want to go there, it would definitely be a good fit for him. And salary-wise, you could move someone like so Carmelo Anthony is due about $24 million this year. I believe he's got about $50 more million left on his contract, 50 plus with the player option on the last year of his deal over the 2 years remaining, excluding this year. So you could trade somebody like an Evan Turner or Alan Crabb, who they just signed big deals this year, but I don't know if they would do that. Then you could also move someone like a Mo Harkless or an Al-Farouq Aminu. So there's a lot of trade pieces. Portland has a lot of trade pieces that they could move for Carmelo Anthony, and the Knicks really aren't looking for a big haul here. They're just looking for some young players and draft picks because they want to get something out of Melo before he becomes useless. At number 2, the OKC Thunder. Look, everybody knows that Russell Westbrook needs some damn help right now. He is averaging a triple-double because he has no choice. There is nobody else on his team. Sorry, Victor Oladipo, but he's not been as good as advertised. So they could definitely use Carmelo Anthony, another scoring punch on that team. I don't know how the chemistry would gel between Westbrook and Melo, who are both ball stoppers and both huge usages of the ball. But with that being said, that's another trade potential destination for Carmelo Anthony. I will say this, though. I've looked at the Thunder's contract salaries, and it's very hard for me to see them trying to make a deal with the Knicks because they have literally no one to offer here. You got the highest salary payroll because I know they're not going to give up Enes Kanter. They're not going to give up Steven Adams. And obviously they're not touching Russell Westbrook. So if it's not those three, then who is it? Because the roster is just barren. Outside of that, you got Alex O'Brien's, Kyle Singler, Anthony Morrow, Nick Collison making the most money after that. I don't think that interest in New York Knicks, even though their asking price has gone down considerably. So for me, judging from what the Knicks want, I don't see OKC as a huge trade partner unless they throw in like 3-4 draft picks, which I don't know if they would do. They would mortgage their future like that, but again, you never know. So OKC is another trade destination. I'm just hesitant on who they could give back to the New York Knicks. And finally, at number 1, the best fit by far for Carmelo Anthony, by far, the Los Angeles Clippers. And again, this rumor is actually not even just a rumor at this point. There have been multiple sources reporting that Carmelo Anthony and the New York Knicks are trying to get a trade going with the Clippers. But they're just looking for a third team right now because they don't want to take back Jamal Crawford's 3-year, $42 million contract. And the Clippers have already told the Knicks they're not trading Blake Griffin, Chris Paul, or DeAndre Jordan, their big three, and the Knicks are fine with that. So you're talking about sliding Melo into that 3 spot where they were running out guys like Luke Richard, Mute, Wesley Johnson, Paul Pierce on his last legs. That would be a big upgrade for the Clippers. And now you could see them make that, sort of a statement in the West, which is dominated by the Warriors. And the Spurs and the Clippers have been sort of the forgotten brother, and for good reason. I mean, they keep getting hurt every year. But with that being said, Melo to the Clippers would be a power move. I think Carmelo Anthony would definitely approve this trade. You're talking about Los Angeles, talking about a big city, talking about La La Land. Carmelo Anthony, I think, would definitely prefer the Clippers over any of the other teams that I mentioned, and really any of the other teams in the NBA, just because they're the closest to a contender to winning, and they give him a big city environment that I know he likes because of New York City. So the Clippers would be the best option for Carmelo Anthony. Really, if you look at their salary cap, if they're not going to take back Jamal Crawford, you still got Austin Rivers you can give up, Wesley Johnson, obviously draft picks. The Clippers situation should be win now, because if you don't make that statement, Chris Paul and Blake Griffin, who are free agents next year, could bolt, and that is the end of the Clippers. So for them to sacrifice long-term picks for a short-term Carmelo Anthony, I wouldn't mind that at all, just because they are in a win-now mode, and this would be the right move for the Clippers to make, I believe. Even though I'm not the biggest Carmelo Anthony fan, I do think this is the best fit for him. So now you would have a lineup of Chris Paul, J.J. Redick, Carmelo Anthony, Blake Griffin, and DeAndre Jordan. That's a power move right there. I like the Clippers as the number 1 trade destination for Carmelo Anthony. So there you have it, folks. Those are my top 3 trade destinations for Carmelo Anthony. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys have any teams that I maybe have missed, or other potential trade destinations? Leave them in the comments down below. And as always, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.